hope you had a great weekend. There was a time when storybooks were the only means of entertainment for kids. We all love listening to stories. Today I am going to narrate a very interesting story with some pictures I have colored. But before that, if you are new here or have not liked, shared or subscribed to my channel, then please do so right away. This is the story of the Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl who loved wearing her Red Riding Hood all the time. So people called her Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her mother and father in a beautiful house by the edge of a forest. Her grandma lived by herself in a tiny cottage at the other end of the forest. Little Red Riding Hood was very fond of her granny and often crossed the forest to visit her. One day, her mother had baked wonderful batch of chocolate chip cookies. Little Red Riding Hood, she called. Did you call me, Mom? Yes, dear. Your grandma is very sick. Would you take this basket of fresh cookies for your grandma? But of course, Mom. Don't stop in the forest and don't talk to strangers. Do as I say. Go straight to your grandma's house. Yes, Mom. Red Riding Hood said happily and took the basket from her mom. She nodded sagely but smiled secretly. Little Red Riding Hood went through the forest with the little basket for her grandmother. Along the way, she saw many beautiful flowers in the forest. What beautiful flowers! I will take some to my grandmother. She picked up some flowers when suddenly Big Bad Wolf saw her and followed her quietly. He would have caught and eaten her up then and there. But he was afraid of the woodcutter working nearby. Red Riding Hood reached the far valley. The wolf stepped out from behind the bushes and smiled pleasantly. Well. It's nice to see a brave little girl who isn't afraid of the woods. Morning, Little Red Riding Hood. Good morning, Mr. Wolf. Where are you going so early? I'm going to my grandmother's house. Take her this little basket with some chocolate chip cookies and flowers. Does your grandmother live far from here, Mr. Wolf? She lived just across the forest in the first little house in the village, the one with the yellow door. Granny's cottage seemed just ideal to catch the little girl. He made an excuse and said, "Goodbye, Little Red Riding Hood. And do you see that road?" "Yes, I do. Just follow that road and you will get to your grandmother's house." "Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Goodbye." Ha. The wolf took a shortcut and raced to Granny's house. He knocked on the door. Who is it? Croaked Granny from the bed. It's me, Granny, Little Red Riding Hood. I have brought some cookies, said the wolf in a sweet voice. Come in, my dear, the door is open. As soon as the wolf entered, Granny jumped off from the bed. But the wicked wolf under the hub and stashed her in the broom cupboard. Then he put on her nightgown, jumped into bed, and waited for the little girl. A few minutes later, the Red Riding Hood arrived at her grandmother's house. She knocked at the door. Granny, it's me, Red Riding Hood. May I come in? Come in, my angel. The door is open, croaked the wolf, trying to imitate Granny's voice. Little Red Riding Hood stepped in and went straight to Granny's room. Mom sent you some cookies. How are you faring, Granny? Much better, after hearing your sweet voice, croaked the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood came, sat by her granny's bed. It was quite dark in the room, but surely Granny looked different. You look so different, Granny. It's big ears you have got. All the better. Here you with, my child, said the wolf. What big eyes you suddenly have, Granny. All the better to see you with. And what big teeth you have, Granny. All the better to eat you with, growled the wolf, and jumped up on the Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood screamed and rushed away from the room. The wolf came charging after her. She screamed as loudly as she could and threw the pots and pans at the wolf to deter him. But a wolf is a wolf. The little girl is little girl. Just as Little Red Riding Hood was starting to feel exhausted, she heard a thundering blow at the door. The wolf also stopped. The next moment, the door crashed down and a woodcutter came in, bringing a huge axe in his hands. One look at him, the wolf decided to flee. He jumped through the window, ran away as fast as he could. Red Riding Hood, are you okay, my child? The woodcutter picked up trembling girl. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for saving me. Then Granny, out of room closet, he hugged the little girl. Thank God you're safe. What a horrible wolf it was. Can't thank you enough for saving both of us. And he said to the woodcutter, join us for some tea. They sat eating and drinking happily. So, the moral of the story is, never disobey your parents. Never talk to strangers. Never open the door without checking. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Jain, ciao.